What's up, everybody? Okay, you know, this time last year, I made a video about my top five hip hop songs of 2022. And I did say in that video, I was like, yo, it was the worst year in hip hop history last year. And I was like, it's gonna get even worse. And I was right, unfortunately. It got worse. In fact, this is easily the worst year in hip hop history to me. Even worse than the previous year, because at least the previous year had like a couple of songs that actually bumped. New songs like F&F with Glorilla. I like that song, it was new. But again, I was struggling. I was struggling to find at least one song that I loved, that I played a lot. And this year, with the exception of Lemonade, which I mean, I like, but I can't say I loved, you know, there isn't a single song that I like. I just kept going back to like that. You know what I'm saying? There were songs like, for example, "The Shoe Fits" with Drake. Again, it's kind of the same people over again. When I think about it, Drake, "The Shoe Fits," I played a couple of times. Nicki Minaj's "Pink Birthday" I played, a couple of times because the beat, but I don't really think that song was it at all. Um, I'm trying to think what else, man. Damn, this year was weak. Holy crap. Holy crap, man. Worst year ever. 50 years of hip hop and absolute trash. So I started thinking, right? And I saw some of the comments, by the way. Feel free to comment on these videos. I read all the comments and I always try to get to them. So someone suggested, they were like, yo, Tochi, can you please talk about the best years of hip hop the last decade or so? Well, the truth of the matter is that it's hard for me to really say what the best year was and rank them specifically. I don't want to really get into all that because, frankly, hip hop isn't good. It hasn't been good. I mean, you guys are gonna say, "Yo, you old head, you hating." It hasn't been good since like the early 2000s. You know what I mean? So, it's just gotten weaker every year in the grand scheme of things. It's pretty much been a downward slide. So. That's why I can't really say that, like 2015 was an amazing year for hip hop because it wasn't. None of these years are great for hip hop. The last time I remember loving almost everything that I heard that was coming out in hip hop was like, I don't know, 2000? You know what I'm saying? I think actually I literally bought the Source Compilation 2000, which had like Shayla Ghost on it and a bunch of other songs. And like most of those songs were fire. There was a couple of trash, I'm sure, but that's what I'm saying. Like everyone was like a good year or a great year is when everyone's dropping hot shit, right? If one person is dropping great shit or decent shit and everyone else is trash, that's not a great year. You know what I mean? That's that because the game should not be like that. That's what I'm trying to say. But anyways, I'm gonna talk about the years that I guess I do remember or I thought about in the last. Since 2011, I would say, because since 2011, we obviously had the birth of, the introduction of ASAP Rocky, who remains my favorite new artist in that, since that time, and really probably my favorite new rapper that came on the scene since maybe 50, right? I mean, I'm trying to think of a new rapper that came on the scene after 50 Cent. That I actually really loved as much as ASAP Rocky. And that's what I'm saying. It was just a downward, trajectory. I can't think of one, to be honest with you. But when Rocky came out, I was like, oh, finally, maybe, this is going to be a resurrection of hip-hop. You know what I mean? This is, back to what made hip-hop innovative and interesting and cool and machismo and all that shit. And unfortunately, Rocky did his thing. He obviously came with Live Love ASAP, which was stunning. And he had Playboy Cardi and introduced that into the game with Pierre Bourne, and so that stuff's great, but it just didn't manifest itself, in my opinion, as much as I would have hoped it to. Anyway, so I don't know if you can hear the EA beat. BA beats crazy. One of the best songs in the new school period. Pierre Bourne. So I'm gonna look at my notes here. 2011. I liked 2011 to a certain extent. At least I had Frank Ocean that came out. I remember hearing Nostalgia Ultra. I mean, it's not really hip hop, but it had hip hop esque flavors in some of those beats. Unfortunately, a style that Frank Ocean pretty much immediately abandoned, which is literally the story of the 2010s. It's like you come out with a formula that makes an impact that's dope, and instead of building on that formula and becoming even doper, these people went and switched it up entirely to pander to the casuals and then proceeded to fall off. And this is literally the story to me of the 2010s. But anyway, 2011 had Live Love ASAP, obviously, which remains my favorite of all the mixtapes projects since then. Obviously, you had God's Father, which was fire. Lil B was kind of doing his thing. I wasn't like a huge Lil B fan at this point. Um, I was listening to some of Lil B stuff, but it wasn't really until Rocky came on the scene with Clams and I was really listening to that shit heavy. Then I went back, right? That's when, so really, I would say 2012 is when I kind of really got into Lil B heavy because I was listening to these Clams beats and I was like, yo, this shit's incredible. Like, and I started digging and I was like, oh, Lil B was on this like wave before Rocky? Like, what the fuck? And that's when I became much more of a Lil B fan. So that 2011 year had some good shit, spaced out in between it. But again, you have to remember, 2011 to me was also Niggas in Paris, which to me was trash. Big Sean, I remember being around that time, I think, as I think that shit was garbage. There was a lot of garbage in 2011, to be honest with you. I don't really remember, like the mainstream stuff. Definitely Waka Flocka was out, and again, I wasn't really a huge Lex Luger fan. I didn't hate his stuff. Well, actually, I'm gonna keep it real. I didn't really like a lot of his stuff. I thought Hard in the Paint was fire. I said that back then. But a lot of that stuff was super repetitive and kind of lame to me. So there was a whole Lex Luger thing that was 2011 and even Hit Boy with Niggas in Paris. That's all 2011 shit. Like you'll notice that like rap sounds a lot more like the Lil B's and the ASAPs going forward because they were the ones that came up with that new shit entirely, right? Rap don't sound like what it sounded like mainstream wise in 2011, but a lot of mainstream rap sounds like what Live Love ASAP to a certain extent, like what Rocky and them, and even that careless Lil B swagger or whatever. You see that in Sexy Red. I mean, you see it in a lot of these new artists, right? That DIY aesthetic. You know what I mean? So, 20, I don't know if it was 2013 or 2012 when Kendrick came out with Good Kid, Mad City, which I thought was trash. I never listened to, and I've talked about Kendrick long enough. But again, that's what I'm saying. I don't really remember these years as being great. I remember obviously 2011 to sort of like 2012 because I was really into Live Love ASAP and sort of getting into Lil B, and Lil B was still dropping heat. And also I was really, really excited about what Rocky was going to do. And he had dropped Goldie and what was the other one? I can't remember. There was another record, maybe Thug and Noise or Purple Kisses. Like there were things coming out a little bit by bit where I was so excited to see what Rocky was going to do mainstream wise. So 2011, 2012 was pretty good. Bands that Make a Dance. That shit was kind of cool. The other year that was pretty good, 2015, I would say 2015 to 2016 was kind of another year that I was like, oh, I really like this. This is kind of when Drake to me became like ASAP Drizzy really put his foot down. Like I remember Jumpman was like 2015-ish, I believe. So if you're reading this, it was too late. I wasn't up on it right away. This is again, I'm a Drake, like I like Drake now, but like my change on Drake is actually pretty amazing and drastic. Because I was at a point where I wouldn't even listen to no Drake shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I remember hearing 10 bands at a house party sometime in early 2015, and I was like, is this Drake? Like, what the fuck? This shit go. But I never really, even then, I was just kind of like, whatever, right? But obviously, when Jumpman came out, then I was like, okay. Alright, this nigga been hitting me in the head with, started from the bottom and Worst Behavior and Wu-Tang Forever and 0 to 100, and then I heard that 10 band shit, and now this shit? Like, okay, I gotta stop sleeping. I look stupid sleeping on this nigga. So 2015 into 2016 had like some pretty interesting songs. Again, I think this is typically how it works. Like somebody will come out with like a new sound or like a vibe, and people will either copy it or or feel inspired to kind of at least for once try to be themselves. So I like that to a certain degree about 2015, 2016. 2016, you started to see way back with Gucci, which I liked. 21 Savage came out with Savage Mode, and that was like, again, 21 Savage came with some fresh air. You know what I mean? So that kind of era, and then Lockjaw, I think, was this time period. I just remember listening to this a lot. What else was out at this time? Sneakin' was out at this time. Trap Soul was out 2015ish, 2016. So that was a kind of a cool like year where I was like, okay, you know what? Again, it's about multiple people doing things, right? Where I was like, I like that track a lot, or I like that song a lot. You know what I'm saying? Um, then obviously you had 2017 into 2018 with Cardi, right, coming out the gate with self-titled, which I pretty much loved. I would say almost instantly. Once I heard "Woke Up Like This," I was really very much on board with Cardi, and then both with Gucci and Drake. So that's kind of like the ending of Metro's run into like Pierre Bourne becoming like his person or whatever. So I like 2017 to 2018 as well. There was definitely some tracks that I was really feeling. Then obviously Pop Smoke came out 2019 with Meet the Woo One, and that felt like a breath of fresh air. But what's interesting is I don't remember anyone else that was doing anything dope in 2019 really. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't remember other than Pop Smoke. I don't remember listening or hearing of a new artist that was really like, oh shit. And again, that's my point. It's like years are great when there's multiple people doing cool shit. It's not just even no matter how dope even that one artist is. If multiple people aren't dropping great shit, it's not going to be a great year. You know what I'm saying? And that's what hip hop needs. Like it needs a real shot in the arm, and we need like multiple great artists at this point. Okay, the next generation, like we need like a solid 3 to 4 new phenomenal. They can't be mediocre. None of this participation points bullshit. Okay, like none of this mental health illness is a come up nonsense. Like none of that shit. Okay, like I mean genuine. Yo, I got good ideas. I got a voice. I got a sound. I got a unique sound. I got a unique style. I'm gonna do me, and it works. It gets people feeling good. Gets them vibing. That's what we need, and we need multiple of them. It can't just be one, but at least somebody that can break the mold. You know what I'm saying? That's the only way hip hop is gonna improve, yo. And every time someone does break the mold, there's always usually a slew of copycats, anyways, that even in a way keep things a little bit fresh. First for like it's a hot second, right? Look at Glorilla. When Glorilla came through, she broke the mold with F&F, and she obviously had a slew of imitators, right? Sexy Red is still benefiting, in my opinion, from the attention that Glorilla gave to female rap. So, you know, but it's not enough because Glorilla, in my opinion, didn't really capitalize on that shit and stagnated, and everyone else was just kind of on that stagnant shit anyway. So we need multiple great artists. That's the only way this hip hop shit is going to recover. And that's a cultural change, honestly. That's something that I think the music community have to sit and really be like, look, like enough is enough, right? We can't just be making this mediocre shit. We have to really try to make music that means something, that has lasting value, and is really well thought out and feels great and comes from a place of genuine place and not from a place of clout and fashion and all that goofy shit, right? Until that happens, you're going to just see more and more weak shit. 2024 could even be worse than 2023, as bad as 2023 has been. Like I said, none of those albums are hot. I didn't hear anything there's no one that can tell me there was a hot album in 2023. I don't believe you. Not a single, like, first of all, we're not even talking, like, we left the hot album thing a long time ago. I can't remember the last time, like I said, other than self-titled, which I thought was brilliant, or Meet the Woo One, which was mostly brilliant. At least half of that stuff was quite good, right? Like, we haven't really had a great rap album or decent rap album since Meet the Woo One. And Meet the Woo One is a good rap album, but it's not great. Okay, it ain't no Cuban Links or some shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, and there's not no Illmatic, and someone's gonna go like, yo, you old school, but again, that's the bar. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not gonna make me forget the fucking bar. We know what the bar is. It's like it's up to y'all young niggas to actually try to either meet and exceed that damn bar. That's the only way that we can then start to really respect you, because otherwise you're just cosplaying at this point. You're like the geek at the anime convention. You know what I mean? Again, I'm not even trying to, shit on them because I fucks with my anime folk. But you get my point. Like, you're trying to be a rapper. You're a wannabe playing the part of a rapper. As opposed to Nas and Jay, they are actual rappers. You know what I'm saying? They're not playing the part. They actually are the truth. You know what I'm saying? So, anyway, long story short, 2024, I don't know, yo. I don't know. I've really kind of been burned out with this music shit in a way, like, so much whack shit. So much mediocrity. I can just hear the mediocrity the moment I press play on all these songs. I'm just like, no one cared about this. No one put their soul into this shit, unfortunately. So it really cannot get much worse than where we're at in 2023. But it can, of course, get worse. It can get so bad that there's not even a single song like worth listening to more than once. At least with Lemonade, I listened to that a couple of times. You know what I'm saying? Like, 2024 could literally be 0 songs worth playing more than once. And then obviously it's over, right? So is 2024 going to be the year of hip hop's final demise? Or is it going to be a call where people actually step up and go, damn, 2023, 50 years of hip hop, this is the lowest rut we've ever been, and we're now going to climb back out of that rut? It remains to be seen. Anyway, y'all, happy Christmas, Merry Christmas, all that. And, this is Happy New Year in advance. So I'm in Texas and, just living up, man. So love y'all. Appreciate y'all watching my channel as always. And let's get into 2024 with some cool shit. You know what I mean? Peace.